Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris, and on today's video we're going to review two top selling fragrances from two top selling fragrance manufacturers or fragrance houses. And the ones we have here today are Chance Eau Tendré by Chanel and Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet. So I know you're out there probably thinking, why is he reviewing both of these fragrances? They're not similar, they don't really compete with each other, but you will be absolutely wrong by saying that. I remember if someone was into Chanel Chance Eau Tendre and we were trying to take that sell away from Chanel, because that's what happens in cosmetics and in fragrance sales, we would show them Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet and they would fall in love with this one. And the same thing would happen if they wanted Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet. You would show them Chance Eau Tendre and you had that cell locked and loaded. They are very similar. These are both geared towards the same clientele, which is going to be that, mid to late 30s, very youthful, even younger than that, women, which is very feminine and girly and loves pink and is very free spirited, very bubbly and happy. I think both of these fragrances definitely do go for their targeted audiences very well, but they are both going to be very similar in a lot of aspects and very different in others. So let's get into it to see which one is better for you and which one you would like more based on the notes and the smells and the packaging. So starting off with the one that was launched first. So it was Chance Eau Tendre, and this is the Eau de Toilette. They have since then now launched the Eau de Parfum. This is a flanker to the original Chance. Now, my bottle is a little old, and I will tell you, it does look a little beat up. They do get like this. So if you're going to get one of those bottles and you want to keep it for a while, just note that it will get a little bit damaged. Chanel does not have the best track record when it comes to the actual packaging or the quality of packaging. The top, you're going to get this plastic lid that's frosted and it has these CCs on it. Chanel also has not updated their packaging since I worked for them, and this is still the same thing you get. Just for size comparison, this is a 5-ounce bottle. They manufacture a 1.2-ounce bottle, a 1.7-ounce bottle, a 3.4-ounce bottle, and the 5-ounce. Obviously, it's going to be based on the price of what you are looking for, but this is the big guy. It is an Eau de Toilette. Both of these are Eau de Toilette fragrances, so they're not going to be the highest concentration, which is Eau de Parfum. I say that with air quotes because obviously we have learned that it doesn't really matter anymore. Unfortunately, it's not like what perfume used to be, which you went into the store, you got an extrait de parfum, or you got a pure parfum, or an eau de parfum, or an elixir, and they were very different concentrations. Now it's just more of what they feel like slapping on the bottle and what they feel like charging you for it. But here is the Chance Eau Tendre, the Eau de Toilette. They do, like I said, make an Eau de Parfum. This fragrance was launched in 2010, and the perfumer for this is Jacques Polge. He is a very talented, actual perfumer. He did come out with Coco Mademoiselle. He came out with Coco Noir. Quite a bit of big staple fragrances for the House of Chanel were launched by Jacques Polge. His son is now the perfumer for the House of Chanel, Olivier Polge, and he's still doing a good job. The son's doing a good job. Not the best, but I think we all can be a little bit hypercritical when we had someone that was so talented like Chanel had Jacques Polge. This fragrance is a sparkly citric fragrance. It has remnants of the DNA of Chanel, which is going to be that powdery type of quality. It's feminine, it's sexy, it's bright, it's vibrant, it's happy. It is a fragrance that definitely will put you in a better mood. It is a little bit tender, and that's why it's called Eau Tendre. It's a little bit, soft and soothing. It's a very delicate type of feminine fragrance, if you will, but it's a sparkling citric fragrance at heart with beautiful floral notes as well. In the top notes, you're going to get quince and grapefruit. Your middle notes, you're going to get hyacinth and jasmine. And in the base, we're going to get notes of iris, musk, amber, and cedarwood. So you get some woody elements, you get some, green elements in here, you get some floral elements in here, and you get some citric and musky elements in here. So it's a very well-rounded fragrance overall. It does compete a lot with Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet for the reason that Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet also has white musk in it. It also has floral notes in it. It also has, your woody elements in it as well. Now, comparing this to the actual smell of Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet, I think that this one's going to be a little bit more sharp. It's going to be a little bit more tart, if you will. So it's going to have that fruity element, but it's going to be a little bit more, rough around the edges. It's going to be a little bit more powdery because it has that beautiful iris inside of it. It is very big on jasmine, so if you like jasmine fragrances, it is a more youthful jasmine fragrance. It's not going to be like a Jasmine Rouge by Tom Ford. It's not going to be a J'adore. But it is going to be a very soft, delicate jasmine note inside of here. It's kind of like, the very leftover smell of jasmine, if you will. It's not going to be like a freshly brewed tea or a freshly cut flower. It's more of like what you have left over on your clothing, if that makes any sense. Then we have Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet, and I remember launching this fragrance. I started working with Dior right when they launched this one, and we had discontinued Cherie, which I believe was part of the Eau de Parfum collection. And then they came out with this one in this bottle. They had the Eau de Toilette, and it was not selling very well. And I think that they wanted to have another flanker. This is not the same packaging that you're going to get anymore. It does have a different bow on it. Dior does tend to do this quite frequently, so they'll update their packaging a lot, if you ask me, and they also update their actual formulas. Miss Your Blooming Bouquet has stuck around since 2014. It hasn't been reformulated, it hasn't been changed, it hasn't been discontinued. It is still a fragrance that is still around, but the packaging has changed. They do obviously make roller pearls now, or what is a roller ball. And the perfumer for this fragrance is Francois Dimanchy, which was the in-house perfumer for the House of Dior. He has since retired, and now we have Francis Kurkdjian as an in-house perfumer for Dior. Let's see if he doesn't ruin this. I think he's a little bit egotistical, but that's just my opinion. And who am I? I'm a nobody in a small town with a cow and two ducks that live here. So, but but the top notes for this fragrance are going to be bergamot and mandarin orange, and then in our middle notes we're going to get peony as well as roses. In our base we're going to get white musk and lily of the valley. So Lily of the Valley is a very big, important note to the House of Dior because it was said that Mr. Dior used to sew Lily of the Valley into the bottom of his couture dresses whenever he would walk them down the runway as a good luck charm. He was very superstitious, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. They say the same thing about Chanel and they hated each other, but maybe they were very superstitious and that was just a thing in Paris at the time. Who knows? But it's said that he used to put that into the actual, sew it into the actual couture dresses. Anywho, this fragrance is, like I said, going to be similar to Chance Eau Tendré in the sense that it has that musky base to it, but this is a true musky peony scent. So it has that vibrancy of the peony, it has that vibrancy of the white musk because obviously it's not musk anymore like this one, it's white musk, so it's synthetic. It is going to have the sharp tartness of the mandarin orange, but it's not going to be as much as what you're going to get in Chance Eau Tendré. It is very well blended. You are going to get a very sparkling fragrance as well. So they're both vibrant, sparkling, feminine fragrances. But to my opinion, I think that this one is a little bit more wearable, or at least Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet, I think is a little bit more wearable. It's a little bit more, youthful. It's a little bit more versatile compared to Chance Eau Tendré. But Chanel Chance Eau Tendré, I think, has a very nice element that, really makes it so timeless. It's a very well done fragrance to the point where it's very refined and elegant without trying to be, if that makes any sense. It's very effortless, and I think that's what they are trying to achieve with this fragrance. Chanel just does a really fantastic job, and it's a little hard to beat them. I think that if you are a very ambitious, work, and goal set type of person, you will like Chance Eau Tendré because it does have that characteristic to it. It's very much a fragrance that knows what it wants. And I think both of these fragrances are good for both different types of people. Miss Your Blooming Bouquet is going to be a very, like I said, delicate, vibrant, feminine fragrance. It's going to be light and airy. And if you love peony, then you'll love this one. And if you like a powdery fragrance that has those beautiful jasmine and citric notes that Chanel does so well, then I would certainly recommend you to get Chance Eau Tendré because it is a very beautiful, vibrant, and like I said, very effortless type of fragrance. Which one do I recommend you to get one over the other? I would probably have to say Chance Eau Tendré. It's just timeless, it's classic. I can see this fragrance being around in another 10 to 15 years. I can probably see this one too, but Dior tends to discontinue their stuff quite frequently. They'll get rid of it, they'll reformulate it, they'll repackage it. And they do that really a lot with Miss Dior lineup. I think since I worked for Dior, they had Miss Dior, the Eau de Parfum. Then they discontinued that one and then launched Le Parfum. Then Le Parfum was discontinued. Then they launched another parfum, Eau de Parfum. Then they launched, Absolutely Blooming, and then cut, that one out, and then made it. It's a lot to keep up with, and I think that we do run the risk with that happening with Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet. I don't think it will, but you do have that as a possibility. And I do think that this one will be around for a long, long time. Now let me know if you guys want to see a comparison between the Eau de Parfum of Eau Tendré and Eau Tendré. I definitely do recommend, like I said, this one over Miss Dior, but if you actually like one, you'll probably like the other. If you're thinking about getting this for a Christmas gift for someone, I think that they'll be happy with either or. Now just note that Miss Dior is a little bit cheaper by $5, so if you're going to get a 1.7, from Miss Dior, it's going to be $5 less than Chateau Tendre, and it just keeps going up in price. So, if you want a 3.4-ounce bottle, it is $5 more with Chateau Tendre and $5 less with Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet. So, if those $5 make a difference, get Miss Dior, but if they don't, then I would certainly say to get Chateau Tendre. Definitely a very beautiful fragrance, and I definitely do recommend it. And I do love this one myself. So let me know down in the comments, which one do you prefer? Which one of these fragrances do you personally wear? Have you smelled either one of them? Let me know all of that down below. Also, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more fragrance related content. I hope to see you guys on the next video. Until then, take care.